बड़ा हो जाएगा। कैमरे में छोटा लगेगा ना तो
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mohammad Sarfar Gupta, a senior Islamic teacher. Today it's my opportunity to speak with you about a very significant topic, which is the history and importance of Hadith. Today there is so much confusion what the Hadith and what the Sunnah. Now let's talk about this topic. The Hadith normally is at the feet of Prophet, the word of Prophet, while the Sunnah are the actions of the Prophet. When Prophet performs something among the companions, it is the Sunnah of Prophet. When the Prophet passed any statement, he instructed the companions, get the Hadith. So what you learn? Hadith is the speech of Prophet, while Sunnah are the actions of the Prophet. There is also a third category, which is Taqreer. Here Taqreer means something Prophet observed, he neither saw nor appreciated something, he kept himself silent. It means Prophet approved the action should be done. So it was Taqreer. Now the next category is Hadith al-Qudsi and Hadith al-Nabawi. Hadith al-Qudsi are those hadith. The method, the text is Allah Almighty narrated. Allah Almighty saying to the Prophet, while the Prophet speak the word, the Jibreel used to bring the same message to the Prophet speak the word. That's the Hadith al-Qudsi. And Hadith al-Nabawi are those hadith which Prophet speaks himself. Okay, so Hadith Qudsi sometimes is called a Ghair Matlub. Ghair Matlub means the verses of Quran are recited repeatedly. Okay, the verses of Quran are recited repeatedly. Therefore, it is called Matlub. While the Qudsi hadith is not recited in the prayer, that's why it is called the Ghair Matlub. The differentiate between Hadith al-Nabawi and Hadith al-Qudsi are Prophet speaks something, the same message Allah gave him with Hadith al-Qudsi, while Prophet instructed himself in his own words, there's the Hadith al-Nabawi. Now the next category, which is the most important in the chapter of Hadith, is type of Hadith. Normally, we can classify the Hadith in three forms. Number one is Hadith al-Sahih. Hadith al-Sahih means authentic hadith. Those hadith which reach to the standard of the Muhaddithin, these hadith are called the Hadith al-Sahih. Means the text of the hadith is authentic, the narrator had a sharp memory, he never speaks any lie, he has done anything which he has never done anything which goes against his destiny, his glory. Therefore, it is called the Hadith al-Sahih. In Hadith al-Sahih, there is no doubt, there is no contradiction. The mafhum, the message does not go against the Quranic verses. That's why we call it Hadith al-Sahih. While Hadith al-Hasan is also a very authentic hadith, but maybe one condition is missing as compared to Hadith al-Sahih. In Hadith al-Hasan, maybe the narrator has low memory, he has problem of forgetting the things. Therefore, we will approve this hadith, but this hadith is not comparable with the Hadith al-Sahih. While the very weak hadith are those hadith which does not meet any qualification of the Hadith al-Sahih or Hadith al-Hasan. It means the narrator is a liar. He has very bad memory, so he hasn't listened the word from the Holy Prophet. He is exaggerating something from his own wish. He is modifying the mafhum of the hadith. When anything is found in the hadith, this hadith is called a weak hadith. We are not enforced to follow this hadith. Now, the comparison hadith. something, there were some professional writers like Hazrat Abdullah bin Amr and Hazrat Abu Hurairah. They used to write the hadith in the book form. They have treasure of hadith. Whenever they listen something from Prophet, they used to record all those hadith in the book form. Therefore, we can say hadith has been compiled in the life of Prophet. After the Prophet demise, now the Sahaba, now the companions, they used to discuss hadith in anywhere. They used to decide any work in the life of hadith. They give the utmost status to the hadith. After the companions, as the people of companions, they used to learn this knowledge. But after 200 years, when the original companions were died, now there was a need to record the hadith in complete formal book form. Therefore, Imam Bukhari he wrote the hadith in his book, and he made very strict conditions for scrutinizing the hadith. This hadith is authentic or fake. Therefore, we can say the hadith has been recorded in the life of Prophet, and even after the life of Prophet, hadith was easily taken in the book as the situation was changing, political, economical scenario was growing, the Islam was expanding day by day. Now there was need to record the hadith in proper book form in the light of some guidance, some standard, some conditions. Now, a very important topic is here. How can you check the authenticity of the hadith? Because any person can say something and just escape the Prophet's faith. We need to identify the authenticity of the hadith in two ways. One thing is isnad, sanad. The another part is matan, text. It is the text of the hadith. Why is it sanad of the hadith? Sanad means you need to check the qualification of the narrator. The narrator has a sharp memory. He is not a liar. He has a gentle character. He heard the hadith from Prophet himself. When these all conditions are fulfilled, then you can say the sanad of the hadith is authentic. In the case of the matan, you will find out there is no grammatical error. The text does not go against the verses of Quran. There is no ambiguity in the mafhum of the hadith, in the text of the hadith. Some message which goes against the glory of Prophet. When anything happens, they can easily judge whether the text is authentic or fake. Therefore, to check out the authenticity of the hadith, it is very, very necessary to check the sanad and text of the hadith. We can find out if the hadith is authentic or fake. Now, correction of hadith. Normally, hadith are recorded in book form in two ways. One is musannaf, musnad, and the another form is musannaf. In musnad, actually we record the hadith under the narrator. Let's suppose on the top is the heading of the narrator and Abu Hurairah. Now over the hadith under this heading are narrated by Abu Hurairah. In simple words, the hadith is known by its narrator, while the musannaf, the hadith is known by the topic. Okay? Let's suppose on the top of the page it is written Babu Salah. All those hadiths regarding the Salah, regarding the prayer, are here under the heading of Babu Salah. It means the hadiths are known by its topic, Babu Janaya, Babu Zakat. But here the hadith is known by the narrator and Abu Hurairah and Amr bin Abdullah and Anas bin Malik. So here the hadith are known by the narrator. These are the two collections of the hadith. The famous is the Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal and the Muwatta Imam Malik. These are the books which come under the heading of these two collections. Now the most important concept here, how to use hadith for legal thinking. Here legal thinking means Sharia law. Just like in the world, in the country, we make the constitution and we dwell our life under the shadow of we have right to say something lawful or unlawful if we have the hadith? So hadith is used to make something lawful or unlawful. For example, in legislation, making some constitution, Allah will say, "Udkhulu fil-silmi kaffa." Enter the Islam completely, not partially. It means your each and every movement should be according to the Quranic and Hadith teaching. Here, Hadith guides us to make the law of the country. Judicial system. Allah will say, "Fasqun bayna an-nasi bil-haqq." You should justify among the people with justice. It means the Hadith tells us when you are making some judgment, you must be impartial. Don't show your leniency to one person. We have number of many examples in the time of Prophet when the Khalifa, the caliph, was called in the court. He stood in the court and he justified himself. Therefore, hadith is used to make the judicial system. Criminal law. Hadith says a number of many laws about the crime. When somebody steals something, his hand will be chopped off. When somebody commits some adultery, he would be stoned. Number of many punishments are mentioned by the hadith. Now we have made the law, all the ordinance, all the hudud laws, these things are mentioned by the hadith. Social affairs, how to make a business, how I should have my domestic life, how should I deal with the normal things, how I should be a citizen, all these things would be acknowledged under the light of the hadith. So hadith guides us in all the areas which make my life good. Therefore, let's just short brief discussion about the hadith and important hadith. I hope you must have some concept regarding how hadith